In a text message obtained by the New York Times, sent by Carlson to one of his producers, the host allegedly describes watching a video of a group of people he calls Trump guys violently attacking a, quote, Antifa kid, calling it dishonorable and adding, "It's not how white men fight."
Overnight, the New York Times published a text message from Tucker Carlson to one of his producers. Carlson described a video he had seen in which a group of Trump supporters had attacked someone he called an Antifa kid. It was 3 against 1 at least, he wrote. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight.
Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Well, Tucker Carlson just showed us who he is. And he really is a white supremacist. According to the New York Times, Tucker Carlson messaged his producer on January 7th, one day after the insurrectionist attack on the U.S. Congress during the act of certifying Joe Biden as president of the United States, and said,
"A couple weeks ago, I was watching video of people fighting on the street in Washington. A couple of Trump guys surrounded an Antifa kid and started pounding the living shit out of him. It was 3 against 1 at least. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It is not how white men fight. Yet suddenly I found myself rooting for the mob against the man, hoping they would hit him harder, kill him. I really wanted them to hurt the kid. I could taste it. Then somewhere deep in my brain, an alarm went off. This isn't good for me. I'm becoming something I don't want to be. The Antifa creep is a human being, much as I despise what he says and does, much as I'm sure I'd hate him personally if I knew him. I shouldn't gloat over his suffering. I should be bothered by it. I should remember that somewhere somebody probably loves this kid and would be crushed if he was killed. If I don't care about those things, if I reduce people to their politics, how am I better than he is?"
Now, though I like Maya Angelou's quote, sometimes in the media business, I know because I watch a lot of TV, sometimes it's not that easy to figure out who someone really is. After all, I watched The Rock for years. Does that mean that's who Dwayne Johnson is?
You all for jabronis, jabronis?
Any jabroni walking can do that.
The jabroni beating. Ow! Pie!
Trailblazing.
An eyebrow raising. Stronger than a bear, faster than a buck, the biggest thing to hit Canada because the Maple Leafs suck.
I'll wait. Obviously not.
Do you ever miss wrestling?
I miss wrestling. I love wrestling. Yes, I do.
How much do you miss it? Do you wish like you could do a little bit of everything?
I mean, but there's nothing like a live crowd, live audience, live microphone, as you know, as you both know.
I mean, be real. When was the last time you heard that man use jabroni in a sentence? Sometimes what you see on someone say on TV is just an act. I mean, I've got 12 subscribers. Okay, that's cap. But still, I don't put on a show because I started this channel to be who I am and tell the truth about how I see it, based on research and information to the best of my ability. If I wanted to lie, I'd do what everyone else does and just go to work. Hey, Billy. Hey, Chuck. Man, I love that guy. God, I hate that guy. The blessing of starting this myself from scratch is that I can just be myself. And if people like it, great. If people don't, then that's okay too. I really hope you do. But that's not the truth for TV personalities, particularly for Tucker Carlson or anybody else in media. You see, in traditional media, they have these things called ratings. And ratings impact these things called paychecks. And if you don't get ratings, you get very small paychecks. And nobody likes small paychecks. $100? Thanks, boss. Man, do I love being broke. Me too, said no one ever. So we don't know if any media personality is being honest about what they think. And that includes Tucker Carlson. Look at all the supportive things he said about Donald Trump.
It's obvious to many Democrats, too. Trump was criminally charged because he is planning to challenge Joe Biden.
All of them. You can't, by the way, you cannot overstate the degree to which Republicans in D.C. hate Donald Trump. The Republicans hate him more.
America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them.
Now look at all of the unsupportive things he said about Donald Trump when he wasn't being paid.
According to court documents, host Tucker Carlson texted a producer on January 4th, 2021, just 2 days before the Capitol attack. "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights." The conversation continues. Referring to Trump, Carlson says, "I hate him passionately. I can't handle much more of this."
So with Carlson, you never really know what's true or not until you hear what he says behind the scenes when he's off the clock. And what he said behind the scenes is truly, truly, truly offensive. And just plain wrong. By stating it was 3 against 1 at least, jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight. He's told us a lot. First, let's just get the obvious out of the way. I don't think any large group of people is inherently good or bad. Anytime you start talking about millions of people and putting them in categories based on how they look, whether that be race, religion, or job description, you're on a road to being wrong. Excuse me, sir, where is Wrong Way Road? Oh, that's easy. Just take a right on Generalization Drive, jump on the massive Assumption Highway, and you're 10 minutes out. Thanks. Whether you're talking about white people, Jewish people, police, lawyers, black people, Latinos, business people, even preachers, realtors, or whoever. Once you start saying anything on the basis of race, religion, or even job description, police are bad, black people are good, white people are bad, anything, saying a guy or girl is good or bad because they are, insert word of choice here, you're almost guaranteed to be wrong. Period. That is the only absolute you can count on. That and the earth is round. Sorry, Kyrie. But let's get this out of the way. In America, in modern history, Tucker is wrong. Using unfair advantages, whether it's guns and biological warfare against Native Americans, or using massive rape, mutilation, and murder to force black people to build a nation, or using the state or third parties to enforce oppression using unfair numeric advantage, whether physical or financial, to enforce your view, is exactly how white men historically have fought. Them's just the facts. So Carlson is just wrong here. But what he says next isn't a matter of being factually right or wrong. People hold wrong views of history all the time.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
What's scarier is the implication of what he said. That's not how white men fight. That quote is truly terrifying. Because what he is talking about is that whiteness, being Caucasian, by accident of birth, genetically encodes a white person with a sense of honor. What he is saying in a private message to someone he trusts is that on a hierarchy, honorable, moral superiority is synonymous with being white. And he's ashamed of his fellow white men because they are, unlike other racial groups, inherently above that sort of behavior. And if that's not how white men fight, that implies other men do fight like that and are therefore less honorable, not due to their character, not due to who they are as human beings, but they are less because they are not white. In his mind, he set up a hierarchy, and white people are clearly above the honor line, and very possibly at the top. That white people are above other people just by dint of being white is the definition of white supremacy. And we know what that is. And we know where that leads.
Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us!
Universities, the torch-wielding white nationalists coming face-to-face.
A demonstration by white nationalists at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville.
White lives matter! White lives matter! White lives matter! White lives.
Tonight, authorities say the alleged shooter planned it all. It started around 2:30 Saturday afternoon in the parking lot of this Tops Friendly Market store in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo. The alleged shooter wearing full body armor and tactical gear, targeting people of color. Zanetta Everhart's 20-year-old son, Zaire Goodman, worked at Tops and was helping an older woman with her groceries in the parking lot. He was shot in the neck.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Zu unserem ewigen deutschen Volk. Deutschland, Sieg, Heil! Heil!
And the fact that this man has been speaking every night to nearly half the country, espousing what we now know are his truly heartfelt beliefs, is freaking scary. Compound that with the fact that he had the #1 show, not just at Fox, but in all of cable television. That means millions of our neighbors, friends, relatives, colleagues, managers, doctors, lawyers, grandparents, you name it, tuned into his program and agreed with his poison on a nightly basis. Now that is truly frightening. Signing off. Peace. Hey, if you like this video, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. We would love to see you again. So take it easy. Peace.